Well, Beth Stelling, she is saying everything women in the dating world are thinking, but in the most hilarious way. Fresh off her HBO Max special, Girl Daddy, we have Beth here before her Comedy Works gig.
Okay, so I want to tell you, and I don't tell any of the other comedians this, but every time, every time we have a comedian on the show, I of course do my homework and like look into their shows and their specials and all that, and I'll watch like a few minutes or 30 minutes of a special. I sat down to watch Girl Daddy today, and I swear to you, I did not move away from my screen the entire time. I was dying laughing. So yeah, so congrats, because you're hilarious. So when did you know that comedy was your thing? Because you get up there and man, it comes to you naturally.
Well, thank you. I guess, I'm the youngest of three girls, and that's kind of a theme I've actually found. My mom and I started a podcast together a couple years ago where she and I call comedians moms.
Yeah.
And quite often, the comedian is the youngest of the children that they have. So I think, there's been studies on this before, but you're the last, you kind of have the least amount of rules, and you're trying to get the most attention for what your mom has left to give.
I love that. Okay.
You really got to put it on.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, and
you've seen Act Two. You got to bring it home.
exactly. We see a lot of that through your special, which is so awesome. And you talk too a lot about like relationships, so to speak, in this special as well. I mean, I'm so curious to know, what's your ideal relationship like? Because, it's just funny to hear what you have to say.
Well, my ideal relationship is one where I would be fine just by myself. One that doesn't have me upset moments before doing a StreamYard interview for my shows in Denver this weekend or next weekend. I know when they are. I guess ideal relationship. I mean, if I'm answering honestly, it's just one where you don't have to question anything, where you feel wanted and loved, and yeah. Ideally, you're just not needing someone else to make you feel whole or something like that. So
Yeah.
it would be sort of like a complement to your life where you feel supported, like a good partner to travel with, and maybe somebody that brings you coffee in the morning into your bed. These are just a few things I'm throwing out there.
That's very profound, and hopefully there's someone at home watching that can help you out with that. So I do want to talk a little bit about Girl Daddy first. I mean, this is, your first 1 hour special streaming on HBO Max. This is, again, so funny for anybody at home who hasn't seen it yet. What did you do to prepare for this? Because, again, you get up there and you seem so natural and in your element. It doesn't even feel like you've written anything. It feels like you just got up there and went for it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's one of those things where I remember early on in my career, you're usually just looking for what you are. Someone will say like, what's your shtick or what's your skit? I mean, none of us call it that, but, and it's always tough to answer. I found, especially when I was younger, like, I don't know what I do. I don't know what my thing is.
Yeah.
And I remember early on someone describing my act like it was just having a conversation with a good friend.
Yes.
And I really just loved that. And I think I adopted that into my style even more heavily, in the sense that I do want it to feel like that for everybody, like very comfortable. And that's honestly a lot of your job as a comic, is to just, you feel comfortable in what you're doing so everyone else is at ease. This is why people don't like going to open mics, because they don't like sitting there like, oh God, is this person okay? While their hand is like shaking, looking at their notes or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a comfortability that comes with time. But also I think my natural state is just deadpan and comatose. Like I do have a heartbeat, but usually everyone thinks I'm high on weed, which I'm not. It's my natural state. I tend to go for potheads when it comes to like the dating world, but because they can't leave if they're already gone. So that's, my demographic. But yeah, I always just sort of wanted it to feel very comfortable and natural.
Beth Stelling plays Comedy Works downtown February 3rd through the 5th. For tickets and information, go to comedyworks.com.